Tyler.
Where'd you go? I went to Movie Academy. My name is Steven Spielberg.
For the second week in a row,
I'm being a douche.
we're doing some comic reviews.
Comic reviews.
In my hands, we have Defenders number 2 by Al Ewing and Javier Rodriguez. Sucked. Hated it. No, I'm kidding.
Wow.
So yeah, the main thing about this is we're spending a good portion of the issue hanging out with the mother of Galactus.
Yeah. Her name is Taaia. The cover of the comic, the original cover, every cover has variants.
Yeah, of course.
Which I made the mistake getting this variant. I wish I wouldn't have. I got mostly of the originals of these, and the Punisher covers are fucking exquisite.
Yes.
So are these, but I made the mistake, or I couldn't find another.
Yeah, I was really confused. I was like, why is there a Namor book here?
That's the only one I could find that was Defenders number 3, and it was a variant. You'll see that in a couple of the books that I bring over.
You bastard.
I fucking know. Anyway, so we meet Taaia, who is the mother of Galactus. We meet Omnimax, who is this cosmos's Galactus, if you will.
Yeah.
The Annihilator, I think, is what the Doctor Strange calls him in the first book. It's from Doctor Strange's perspective in the first book. This book is from the perspective of Silver Surfer,
which I thought I was really excited about, because I think that's what the interesting. I think that's an interesting plot device that each issue is a different character's perspective,
which is cool, and it makes sense why it kind of lends credence to a 5-issue miniseries. Which again, I'm used to like 4 or 12. Honestly, when I was growing up, it was 4 or 12. 12s were like, whoa, but 4s were the norm. You have a 4-issue miniseries. Kitty Pryde and Wolverine was a 4-issue miniseries. Fucking great, fucking miniseries. But it is a great plot device. The thing to me is, I love history, and I love our history, which real history, not comic
human
book
history.
Yes, human history. But I love, like, when they talk about, the stuff before the Marvel Universe, when they talk about the first host and the second host and the Celestials and the fucking cosmic bullshit. I go ape shit for that stuff. So when this book came out, and I bought it on a whim just to see what it was like, I actually bought a really expensive variant, which is, I think, worth some money for number 1 that I keep hidden away, and then I bought a copy to read.
Oh, yeah.
But I had no idea that they were doing this, and of course I'm just fucking going gaga over this book, because we're doing what I've always wanted to do, which is see what happened before. What was Galactus like? If you ever read Silver Surfer Black, that 5-issue miniseries, there's a
Donny
moment.
Cates.
Yeah. Oh my God, great book. I can't remember the artist, but that art was crazy. There's a moment where Silver Surfer has the choice to he is between the fucking cosmoses, and he's got fucking Galen's ship.
Yeah.
That turns into the egg, that turns into, New Ta 2, which is Galactus ship, whatever. But he has the choice. Like, does he destroy Galactus here? Or does he, and it's really cool because he meets fucking Galen of Ta. He meets the fucking astronaut that turns into fucking, that's so cool to me.
Yeah.
Anyway. So,
and then he meets the baby in this issue.
And they do a really, really cool thing where Silver Surfer kind of gets his revenge a little bit in a way, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. I mean, we don't. So it's mostly about them dealing with Omnimax, where they ended up at the end of the first issue. But the things that I love about it, and I think this is when you see two creators on a book, styles really mesh well, and with Al Ewing's plotting and writing and Rodriguez's art. I mean, just the way it reads, when you look at things like when there's these rocks falling at them, and the perspective that you're reading at, where it's one direction with Cloud and Harpy, and then their perspective is changed where it's the reflection of the rocks, the craters flying at them.
Yeah.
And And then you cut to the next page, and you just, again, much like that first issue, the art has this this almost to me looks like Dave Gibbons almost in terms of shading and coloring and that style.
There's a
you know what I mean? Like Watchmen, Dave Gibbons around that era.
Javier Rodriguez has a very 50s, 60s flavor to his style, if you will. Like, there's not a lot of musculature. There is, but it's not common. It's not the norm, right?
Yeah.
Like Taaia, for example, is not, I mean, she's clearly feminine, but she's not like your typical like 90s superhero spandex, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But she's clearly like she's clearly a babe, you know what I mean?
I mean, she's hot.
Listen, I got the hots for Galactus' mom.
Do you have shots like the reflection in Silver Surfer's face when he sees Galactus, and then you see the outline, like as a child, but then you see an outline
Galen of Taaia.
Yeah, and it's an interesting setup because we meet Galen, we see an interaction here. Now, this is what's interesting. So, Silver Surfer again has that question. He's like, "Why don't I kill him here? End it now. Stop all of this." Because I know he's going to destroy the sixth cosmos. I know he's going to destroy this.
Well, no, he survives it.
Well, but he's going to.
Then he becomes Galactus in the next. Yes,
he'll see. Or no, he said he'll see the destruction of this universe. Yes.
Yes. But then he survives that and becomes Galactus.
Yeah.
He becomes a force of nature.
But the interaction that I thought was the most intriguing of the book is between the Masked Raider and the Silver Surfer, because it's setting up something, and we're getting a little bit of hints here and there at who the identity is, where the Surfer knows, like, I know who you are, I can sense your aura.
Can I just
and
say,
you know what Strange is doing?
Can I just say, I know exactly who the Masked Raider was, because I finished the series.
Oh.
But I have not read number 5, and I don't want to until we actually review that night, because I can't remember exactly who it is, and I want it to be a surprise to us both. Because I can't remember who it is. I have my suspicions, because I've read through 3 now. I almost read 4, and I really wanted to. I flipped through it, but 4 is fucking crazy. Anyway, continue.
But it's again... It's the same art, but it's done in such a way where...
But Silver Surfer gives Galen conscience.
And lets him see what he becomes and what happens when he eventually becomes Galactus and all the death. And
he basically says, if I was kind, I would let you just become a force of nature when you become what you are. But what I'm doing is I'm giving you a pause to see what you're doing. When you're hungry,
giving you a choice.
No, I'm telling you that you're going to still have to consume planets, but you're gonna fucking feel all that pain of killing all that life just to satisfy your hunger. I could let you become like a tornado with no thoughts whatsoever, but you are gonna become a tornado with fucking thoughts and feelings, dude. That's kind of kick ass.
Again, the art is just. Complements the story so well and is great, but like again, shots, like I focus so much on certain elements in that first issue, and again, like the fact that we're getting a close-up shot of the Silver Surfer, but it's shaded, and in that shading is actual exposition. It's actual nothing. Again, there's no page real estate that's wasted on this book.
Well, okay, so one thing I do want to touch on before we get too far, or rather, at some point before we finish, is they talk about, I think in either the first issue or this one, that the Scienceers is what Taaia is. She's a Scienceer. They're what this cosmos' superheroes were. And I would love for a creator or two to get into that and create like some sort of like you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'd love, and the way Taaia speaks also with the quotation marks, it's really, really interesting. Like, can you read one of her bubbles and just out loud?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to do it?
No. Like what?
Well, I don't know if you know what I mean.
Be find a good one here.
Anyway, the point is while he looks for one, is that she puts quotation marks around certain things, and it's not exactly clear. Here we go.
About time, you lollygaggers. My personal space skimmer is prepped and ready. Behold the life bringer.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Like every so often, every couple words, it's quotes.
One of the first ones
like
in this issue.
She talks like I imagine Stan Lee talks, or how if.
So okay,
she talks like Stan Lee.
The first like 4 bubbles are her. Behold, the quote-unquote impossible foe himself, Omnimax. You quote-unquote time tourists have quote-unquote made the scene of a deadly crisis. Here it comes, the quote-unquote first strike. Hold fast. It's a quote-unquote Taaia. You know what I mean? Like, it's the way that she, the civilians are outside. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Just... No need, quote-unquote, Mr. Metallic. Taaia will reel in this quote-unquote fish. And I hate saying that so much. But you got to kind of read it, but it's just the way that you can tell that I can't describe it to you, but when I'm reading it, it makes sense to me. And I like that way of writing a dialogue bubble. If you also notice, like, Doctor Strange's dialogue is all in lowercase.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of interesting. Cloud, I think, is too.
Mm-hmm. So we get to the point where we find the Herald for Omnimax,
who is Carlo Zota. Which that's the guy they're following.
Yeah, he's like just the Masked Raider's like just the guy we wanted to see. So he and Silver Surfer have a fight. He's got the power cosmic. He's gonna win the fight, and then they're using to fight the Omnimax is a Mother Cube. Okay, this is classic DC and Marvel just being like, they got mother boxes. Well, we have Mother Cubes. See, it's different, but they're gonna use that. So yeah, it funnels all this emotion, like you were talking about, which Silver Surfer does to Gallon, they're going to do to the Omnimax, and it's going to drive them insane or whatever. Yeah. Silver Surfer notices this, so then he baits Zota into a fight where he's like, all right, you want to settle this? Let's do. You think you're going to kill me? You can. And I was talking to my wife about this when I was reading it, and I showed this splash page to her. And so one panel is sideways coming down. It's the Surfer. The other one is Zota. And then there's these little streaks that come down from the panel and are zigzagging in the background. Why is it in the background, you say? Because the way that you read...
a splash page.
The way that you read is left to right, and the paneling is left to right. So you are reading things to get more of the story, and while that is happening, these two are colliding into each other. And the captioning itself is in the past tense of saying the two heralds will collide. Fucking genius.
I want it. This is
and
one
then
of
look at that page. It looks like a fruit roll up. There's an explosion.
And
unbelievable.
It's a beautifully written, and then Silver Surfer gets lost. He gets sent back to his own time. So now there's only 4 defenders.
Sucks him back in, and then we get to the last shot of Good Tidings says More I done. Good tidings for the end of days.
So they're going back to the 5th cosmos, I believe.
Stranger Than Strange, the next issue. So,
but the book is beautifully written. It's beautifully drawn.
Like I said, it's a great pairing. 2 guys that I think...
it's a bizarre kind of story, isn't it? I mean, it's just like, what the hell are we doing? But it's also like you can't help but be a part of it. You probably have it backwards.
Well, and this is something like I would love to see on.
I've been doing this since I was 12.
This is a series I'd love to see on Disney Plus.
Right?
And I would love to see an animated, not even necessarily live action, animated. Like this would be really fun.
It would have to be animated, honestly.
But
to get as beautiful, and Rodriguez would have to have a big part.
Again,
of it.
it's the first issue. I said it felt like I labeled it as a modern throwback. And this issue, I think, reestablishes that, but it also is just
we're going back to the Kirby, cosmic shit.
Yeah.
Just the out of this world like type of like what the hell, and I live for those types of cosmic stories because how many times are you gonna have Spider-Man fight Doc Ock? How many
Yeah.
times are you gonna have Batman fight Joker? But when you go outside the box like this, what is this story even about? Like, Carlos Zoda is a fucking nothing character in the Marvel universe, but you're gonna build this entire thing around this character? Okay. Go for it, man. I'm along for the ride. Fuck yeah, dude. Let's do this. Like that's cool. It's outside the box. It's different thinking. It's let's explore every fucking cosmos of the Marvel universe. Let's go back to when the Marvel universe was nothing but a thought. And what are we gonna find? And that's what's fucking brilliant. Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.